2,000 degrees burn temperature in the bottom to right around 250 degrees in your chimney. Everything else gets transferred into the water, so you're in that 88% efficiency rating.
88% is very high compared to the old style boilers, which were like, what, 50%?
Yeah, 50%, 60 if you're doing well.
Today on The Widget, I'm with Colin. We're at the 2025 Wisconsin Farm Technology Days. It used to be called Progress Days.
Yeah.
It's now Technology Days. And it's a farm show, but you guys have wood boilers here because that's what you do.
Absolutely.
And a lot of farmers have boilers. And that's a big part of your business, I'm guessing, is heating big buildings.
Yeah, ag and boilers tend to go together because they're always looking for ways to heat economically, but also it's a plentiful resource with the wood. So it's a lot of supply and they've got extras, so why not use it, take advantage of the free fuel.
Right. A lot of the farmers that I have talked to that watch my channel, or where I met them over by some of the other machinery for Firewood, they say, you know, in the wintertime when they have days scheduled with nothing else to do other than just get the milking done, they clear fence rows and they make boiler wood. They make mountains of it.
Yeah, there's certainly no shortage of wood.
Yeah. Most farmers are very happy to have someone come and get wood from them. So for those of you that are looking for a source, farmers want their fence line cleared because everything, what, 50 feet out, doesn't really grow because you got all that shade.
Yeah, and it's amazing the places you can find wood. We sell a lot of furnaces down in Iowa, and you'd think, you know, just cropland, but you're right, all along those tree lines, it all gets cut and cleared and cleaned, and it's there if you look for it.
And they want to cut. So now, you are, what's the right word to use? You're kind of a high mucky muck in the company because you're from the factory.
I'm from the factory, eh? No. No. But I'm a territory manager, so I cover a big chunk of the Midwest, and so I've been coming to this show since I think 2017.
And Heatmaster is the machines, the units are actually made in Canada, correct?
Made in Manitoba.
Manitoba,
yeah, about a stone's throw across the border from North Dakota. So we know our cold, we know our weather, we know our furnaces.
Nice. So you know the North Dakota language probably pretty good too. They're right there, eh?
Oh yeah.
Yatter, eh? Real good now. You got to know all the Minnesota, North Dakota, well, Wisconsin and parts of Michigan. Kind of the same stuff too.
Well, yeah. When you travel enough, you learn to change your voice depending on where you're at, right? So speak like the locals.
Yeah. Yatter, eh? So tell me about like your network of distributors and how that all works.
Well, a big part of our success as a company has been our dealership network that we've developed over the years, over the last 20 years. And so we have dealers strategically located, so pretty much anyone is within an hour or two of a Heatmaster dealer. And so our dealers go through a rigorous training program in person. A lot of them come to the factory for training. We have online training courses, so they're able to stay up to date on the latest technology that we introduce through our stoves.
So speaking of technology, has there been any major changes? This is like a loaded question, and you probably know where it's going. With the whole new administration with the EPA and things that have happened every time there's an administration change in the United States and the regulations that you guys have in Canada, is there any new big changes coming or what's happening?
Not in terms of regulations. They really haven't changed much since around 2013, 2015. Some of the rebates and things like that have changed. Like right now it's supposedly a 30% rebate, but they capped it at $2,000. So some of those things change. The regulations are still the same. What tends to change is the levels of enforcement. But we tell our customers, we make an EPA compliant furnace, our high efficiency gasification G series, but we also make a conventional furnace, which we sell as a coal burner. And so we make sure that everybody's aware of what the regulations are. Then they can choose which product is most appropriate for them. So more and more we see more and more people going with the high efficiency furnaces because it just makes sense.
Well, my buddy Tony, those of you know my old best friend Tony, has a Heatmaster, and he's done some videos that have done very well, and people have liked it. And he told me the new gasification and how efficient it is, and things he's learned because he had a different boiler at one time that wasn't, and he found out that with you doing the gasification, you really want that dry wood.
Yeah, and that's been one of the biggest changes over the last few years is developing the technology so you can handle higher moisture content wood. And that's where we introduced an oxygen sensor in our exhaust. So then we're able to adjust our air levels in our lower gasification chamber based on the actual oxygen in the exhaust. So if it needs more air, if the oxygen is too low, it'll open the dampers, put in more air, and again, that helps you deal with a little higher moisture content
So
fuel.
I'm assuming here, because I'm an idiot, it's electronically controlled computer components, a lot of technologies going into it.
There's a fair bit of it. I mean, it's nothing, you know, it's not rocket science.
It would be to me.
But I mean, just this last year, we've switched, and now we build all of our controls in-house.
Oh, okay.
So we have our own software and our own boards. But that's given us the opportunity to bring in even more innovation, like our customer app, so you can control everything online, get reports and push notifications if there's any issues.
So if you've got an app, is there things they can do from their house with the app to their machine? Is that tied in yet?
Absolutely. You can access all the controls. You can change your temperature settings, you know, change your timer settings. So all that's accessible. The other thing that's neat too is if we ever do a program update, you don't have to put in a little card anymore. Now you can do that all online and automatically update the software in your furnace. Makes it really simple.
Nice. Yeah, it's changed a lot. And for those of you guys that have had boilers or have an old one that needs replacing, things have changed.
But it's not just about new technology and new things as well. It's also about making some of the older technology more efficient or more effective. And that's like with this year, we're just introducing a limited release of a new top-loading furnace. Which a lot of people kind of refer to as a log boiler.
Yep.
But a lot of people are looking, you know, they want to burn lots of different types of wood in bulk. And so, you know, our goal was to build something that was durable and a quality product, but was able to bring it down to the point where it was affordable, you know, for a small business or, you know, a smaller type farmer who needs the BTUs but doesn't want to spend a whole pile of money.
So now from a consumer standpoint, tell me about, because I've talked about this a lot with guys that have boilers, guys that are looking into them, guys that are in your industry, that the percentage of heat you get from a better burning wood, how much does that matter? Because a lot of people don't believe when I tell them that you want to burn dry wood.
Absolutely. Well, you know, when you think about it, if you load your firebox and with 100 pounds of wood and it's 40% moisture, that's 40 pounds of water that's got to go somewhere. And so now you're burning the wood in order to evaporate the water and get rid of it. So whereas you can let it sit for 6 months, 9 months, split, stack, allow the air to come through it, that evaporates naturally. Now you're getting the full BTU value of that wood.
And that's a lot of guys doing it, because I'll have guys that will tell me, oh, it's a bunch of BS, I throw everything and it all burns. Yeah,
well,
it
sure
burns,
will. Yeah.
But you're cutting way more wood for the same amount of heat or less heat. It's
exactly, and you know, I've had customers say to me, "Well, I like green wood because it lasts longer."
Lasts all night.
Well, yeah, it takes longer to burn because it's got to burn off the water.
Burning
first.
inefficiently. Yeah, I know.
But I mean, but if you don't care, you know, that's fine. You just have to watch for creosote buildup and that type of thing.
And I get their side of it. Time sometimes is more important. So
Yeah.
why spend all the time in the wood production and waiting for it when they can just stick it in and go?
Right.
So there's that. I get that.
Yeah, and that's where you want to have the right type of product for what that person's particular situation or needs are.
Right.
You know, not everybody wants the best of the best. Some people just want something that's simple and traditional, and you try to accommodate that as best you can within the regulations, of course, too.
Right. So now I noticed your products generally are sold, the dealerships are sold and installed by plumbers, electricians, or both.
Well, it's a combination. Most of our dealers do installations as well. And installations aren't that hard. There's like two kind of aspects. There's the outdoor installation, which is putting in your underground pipe, hooking up your power and your plumbing outside. And then when you get into the house, then you're looking at heat exchangers and that type of thing, or manifold if you're doing an in-floor system. So it all depends on the dealer. If you're doing a new build, for example, a lot of the contractors you work with will set up your system inside the house to be able to accommodate your outdoor furnace. So it's really worth spending a bit of time with a dealer and discussing what your needs are and getting looking at the different options before you just make a decision and buy a furnace and then, now what do I do with it? How do I get it hooked up? And
get the right unit for them too, because you don't want to be an unethical salesperson and sell them something that would heat, the Taj Mahal when they've got a cabin or
And our dealers,
the opposite, where they got lots of space they need to heat.
yeah, and our dealers know if they sell you the wrong furnace, they know they're going to be getting that phone call coming back. So they want to make sure you get the right one, but also spend enough time to train you on it, so you understand
that's
how to
the key.
operate it, how to make, because nobody, you know, if something goes wrong, it's going to be on a Saturday night, 2 o'clock in the morning. It's minus 20 or 40 below, even worse. Right?
Yeah.
So,
well, let's look at your units here.
Absolutely.
I'm going to grab the camera and we'll walk around and take a look at what you got.
Sure.
So this is the Heatmaster C250. Now you have different models. I noticed there's the C.
Right.
And then there's the numbers. So tell me what those mean.
Yeah. So these are our conventional boilers. You know, the old traditional style, not you know, the high efficiency ones like what you can look at in a minute. And so the C refers to coal burning. So for residential use, we sell these as a coal burning furnace because the EPA regulations don't cover coal. So you could use a furnace like this, hook it up to your house and burn coal all day long and you're fine. Nice. So even though it's designed for burning wood, if you want to burn wood in it, it's got to be for a commercial application. It can't be hooked up to a home.
Got it.
Right.
So commercial, does that include egg?
Yes.
That's
Right. You just can't hook it up to anything that's got is set up for sleeping.
Residential.
Residential.
Got it.
Right. And so that applies to all the different brands. It's all the same.
Sure. So show me all the different parts and what they do for the people that don't know.
Right. So over the years, there hasn't been a ton of changes. There's been some simple things that we do. We call this the C250. It's 250,000 BTU output, and it'll heat up to about 5,000 square foot on a traditional setup. And so one of the nice things about these furnaces, or all of our furnaces for that matter, is anything that touches the fire or the water is made out of 409 titanium stainless steel. Yep. So great heat transfer, real durable. With these particular units, the way it works is the air is blown in from the rear of the furnace and comes up underneath and then up through these shaker grates underneath your wood. And so that air comes up, your wood ignites and burns, and then your exhaust goes up through the top. What makes it a little bit more efficient is once it goes up through the top, then it goes through this other heat exchanger on the top side.
Got it. So are these replaceable then?
Those are. They'll just you can disconnect the linkage, they'll lift out. Right. They are very durable. They're a cast iron.
I just know that your grates do eventually
they can burn away, and especially if you're burning things you shouldn't be burning. And there's that tendency there as well.
Like one guy I know I talked to, he says, I burn everything in there. He says, if there's a roadkill in front of my house, I throw it in there. Yeah. I said, oh, okay. Yeah, exactly. You don't want to hear that.
No. So, and then again, one of the things that make these a little more efficient than the 15, 20-year-old furnaces is the double pass. So that exhaust comes up from the firebox underneath, then it goes up and then to the back to your chimney. It just basically spends more time in the water jacket, and then that's all removable for cleaning. Makes it real simple. Cool. And then the other feature that a lot of people really like is again a maintenance feature. You shake your handle to let the ashes drop down into your ash pan. So again, it's all stainless, got a handle. Just take it, dump it in your ash bin or in your garden.
Obviously that gets warm, so you wouldn't do it barehanded?
No, you would have a glove, or I've had people, just make a hook that they use. You'd only do that once.
Yeah, right. You learn real quick.
And so again.
And then how many people want to know how many cubic feet? What's the measurements on the inside of this model?
Well, that's a good question. I don't have them
look at the brochure.
off the brochure, but
they can go to your website. I'm sure you guys have a website.
Yeah, at heatmasterss.com.
SS.
The SS stands for stainless steel, so heatmasterss.com, and they have all the product information there as well. But again. You can heat up to about 5,000 square foot with this model. You fill it once in the morning, once in the evening. Doesn't matter how cold it gets. This is a pretty popular model, I'm guessing? Yeah, it's one of the most common sizes, but we'll do everything from 150 that'll do 3,000 square feet up to a C800 that'll do 20,000.
Right.
So it's lots of options to find the right one.
Let's look at the backside. What is this here?
That is your control. So you're basically your aquastat. We use a pretty much a standard Rainco control. They've been around forever, and they're in everything. So basically that's where you set your temperature setting and your differential to turn the fan back on when it needs heat.
And then here you've got where everything hooks up.
Yep, so they typically, the smallest one, the 150, comes with one set of supply and returns. The 3 mid-sizes come with 2, and then the big monster C800 comes with 4 sets of supply and returns. So
these are for cleaning your, is it baffles, are they called?
Yeah, so so this is basically your ash rake, so you can go in and clean both in the firebox in that first pass, and then also on top in your heat exchanger.
Yep.
This one is basically a pick for if you're burning coal. You can go in and break up the clinkers and stuff that end up in
clinkers?
there. Clinkers.
Is that a real?
Yeah, it's a real term for the stuff that doesn't burn up, right?
Oh,
you can't burn it.
nice.
It's just little balls of rock, essentially.
Yeah.
And then a couple of years ago, a little upgrade we did is we switched to an actuator motor from the old solenoid, which is basically like a spring-operated system to open your damper. So this actually has a 67-pound motor in it that'll turn and open your plate. So it's not just slamming it open, it actually slowly rotates. But the real nice thing is if you ever lost power, it's got that 67-pound spring and it'll close to prevent your furnace from overheating.
So are these more durable than what the old style would be then?
Yeah, I mean those come with like a 5-year warranty just for starters.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, they pretty much last forever,
And
not
you
like
can,
solenoids, which are kind of a replacement item.
So then if someone's got to work on their machine or if they need a quick outlet, look at that.
Oh yeah,
Does that
comes
hook
with-
right up to the, obviously they'll hook up to the house and everything.
Exactly. So you run your 110 wire and you bring it up through and behind here into your junction box, and then so you've got one plug set aside for a recirculating pump. So that's the one that would run to your house and back. And then so if you're running 2 pumps, you can use 2 slots, but there's a couple extra there if you want to hang a light or something
and I'm
as
just
well.
thinking from standpoint practicality from my user, this is usually 100, 200 feet away from the house.
Yep.
If you're out there, you got your truck parked, you got some power.
Absolutely.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
like a little powerhouse.
Yeah. So again, a nice basic unit. We've been making these since 2001. All backed up by a great warranty and great dealers who support it. So the other nice thing is when you are working on the back here, we also added, it's a little thing, but it's just this latch, so it'll hold the door open, so the wind isn't taking it and whipping it open or breaking the hinges.
I have one of those on my camper.
Yeah, just little things kind
Yep.
of make those differences.
Yeah, well that's cool. So this is the 250,
Mm-hmm.
and then over here you've got a 150, I see.
Yep, this is a little smaller one. So this is a 150,000 BTU. Everything pretty much the same on it. It's just basically a smaller version. So you got a fair bit smaller firebox.
And this will heat how many square feet?
Even this little one, believe it or not, will heat 3,000 square feet.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
is most houses.
Unless you're talking an A-frame cottage with no insulation, then
Yeah,
then
might
maybe
need
not.
more. Or if you've got an outbuilding or you've got a workshop and you want to heat it. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Very
So
nice.
yeah, they're very and they're very affordable. These start, I think, at $8,100. So
And then
it's
if
kind
that
of almost a
does
lost
include
leader.
the rebate that's available and everything too?
There's no rebate
On this
on these conventionals because
Oh,
they're
okay.
for the commercial only.
Got
So
it.
the EPA rebate, the tax rebate is on the high efficiency, the G series.
Got it.
Yeah,
And so that's what's over here.
exactly.
This one. This is the 7,000, the big boy.
Yep, this is our mid-size gasifier.
Oh, mid-size.
Mid-size.
To
So
me, this looks big.
yeah, it is. This one will heat about up to 7,000 square feet. That's what
Sure.
the 7,000 for. We have a 4,000, and then we also have a 10,000.
Got it. So 10,000 is pretty big.
Right.
So is that the biggest one you make, or do you have a different model that heats even more?
The 10,000 would be the biggest in the high efficiency.
Is there anybody, I'm sure you, because you've seen this, is there anybody that has quite a few different buildings to heat where they need more than one unit?
Yeah, I've seen that happen before. Like normally depending on the size of the buildings, you can do 2, 3, 4 buildings with one furnace.
Got it, yeah.
But if you get more than that, or you've got really large buildings, then you tend to get into multiples, or that's when the situation you'd get into like a million plus BTU top loader,
Holy smokes, yeah.
or into a C800 in the other line.
So that top loader you're telling me about, that's like putting logs in? Like,
Yeah,
Does it
you
put
put logs
4 foot
in,
or 6
pallets.
foot? Well, how big can you put
The
in?
door is right about 6 foot.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I mean, you could put a bigger door on it, but then you're gonna have a bigger furnace, and how do you ship the darn thing? It's already
Yeah.
5,600 pounds.
Yeah, there's a guy I know that has the top loading one. I don't know what brand he's got, but it's a top loading. You put
Yeah.
what? You can put logs in with the skid steer.
Exactly, yeah. They're
Which
big
is
monsters.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal. And is this one over here any different at
So
all?
yeah, this is the 2024 model, and this is the current one. This is a 2025. So after looking at the other furnace, you can see some obvious differences. You've got the spray, closed cell spray foam insulation.
Sure.
So that makes a huge difference in your efficiency.
Sure.
Rather than having the pass on top, now you've got the vertical heat exchange tubes in the back. So you're going from 2,000 degrees burn temperature in the bottom to right around 250 degrees in your chimney. Everything else gets transferred into the water. So you're in that 88% efficiency rating. So a huge difference.
88% is very high compared to the old style boilers, which were like, what, 50%?
Yeah, 50%, 60 if you're doing well.
Yeah, right, exactly. But so the front is the same then? It's basically
yeah,
the same.
pretty much the same.
Nothing's
The
changed.
difference from last year is we added a side clean out. So not something you do as regular maintenance, but if you ever notice your heat exchanger handle is getting a little sticky, you know, or you've been burning some green wood and concerned you might have some
You've been
creosote
naughty
buildup.
and burned green wood.
Yeah, then you can just take this side panel off, and that gives you access right under your heat exchangers in the back.
Nice.
You put a torch under there and put some extra heat on, or clean it out.
I talked to one guy that had to clean somebody's out. He said he spent almost a whole day cleaning off all the scaled and what's it called? Creosote. All the baked on. He said it was just like stoned cleaning it off. It's
yeah, and that basically comes from number one, not doing your regular maintenance.
Yep.
And then number two, burning green wood and not adjusting for it.
Yeah.
So that's the nice thing with these systems is you can adjust your oxygen if you're a little greener, right?
Right.
To help burn off that moisture. So,
Right.
And then of course the other difference is with this new EasyLink control system that we brought on. So larger screen, it's a touch screen, plus you've got the buttons as a backup to scroll through.
Right.
So it's a real nice system there.
And then the front is a little different too, or no? Oh, a little thicker it looks like, huh? Is it a little thicker? This looks like it's a deeper door.
It's a deeper door on these ones. Again, with these, you don't have the shaker grates for the ash because there's very little ash that builds up. So you've got a refractory brick floor with a stainless steel nozzle. So basically your wood burns in the top here. We let bring air in to burn the wood, and then all the exhaust gets drawn down through that nozzle in the floor where we inject more fresh air, and then that burns down in the bottom chamber. So it goes in, it spins around, comes back the other side, across the front and to the back. So it spends a lot more time burning off. And then about every week or two, you're gonna clean your ash out. You know, there's a rake that you use to pull it, clean the ash out of the side and in the tube, and you may end up with like a little ice cream pail full of powder every couple of weeks.
And does the kind
Very
of wood matter a lot of times as far as how much ash?
Yeah,
I've always been told, and I've seen this, that red oak specifically is like the cleanest, least amount of ash. That's what I've noticed.
It's good. I mean, there's lots of, everybody's got their own opinion. It's kind of like what's better, Ford or Chevy, right? So everybody's got their favorite type of wood.
I know.
But, you know, typically, you know, everybody says, well, you have to have good hardwood, you have to use oak, but if you know what you're doing, pretty much any type of wood you can burn.
Right.
Like up in Canada, the majority, or a big portion of what we burn is all softwoods, you know, pine and spruce
That's
and
what they've
stuff like
got.
that. Exactly, that's what we have. You just have to be aware that the biggest difference on those is it's harder to maintain a coal bed, so it goes out easier.
Right.
So if you're aware of that and set up properly, then you have no problems. So
I know one guy I talked to, he said that he's up in Alaska actually, and he said they fire up 3 to 4 times a day in the winter.
yeah,
Because it's spruce, that's all they've got.
yeah,
They have spruce and cottonwood.
yeah,
And a little bit of birch once in a while if they're really lucky.
yeah,
So that's what they've got.
yeah.
So yeah, very nice.
You can burn anything if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true. Awesome. There you go, folks. Everything you need to know about Heatmaster. If you got any questions, the website again is
heatmasterss.com.
There you go.
And come see us at Farm Tech Days.
There you go. Well, next year.
Next year.
Yeah. We'll probably see you guys again at some of the other shows.
For sure.
Very nice.
We'll
Well,
be
thank
there.
you very much. That was
Appreciate
awesome.
it. Have a great day.
That's all I got for today, folks. See you tomorrow morning, 5:30 a.m. with another video. Good night, Irene.